Okay, so we'll be talking about auxiliary or helping verbs in this lesson. To skip all the definitions, these are words in English language such as have, can, will, must. So, for example, you want to say something like, I have done it, or I can do it, or I will go there, I must have it, I shall do it. So, those are the kind of verbs we are talking about here. Since this is something that you will get to use a lot when you speak, we decided that this is one of the things we need to really focus on because the same thing is going to happen in Yoruba language. You will have to use these verbs a lot. So that is what we'll be focusing on in this lesson to get a proper usage of this kind of words. So we will start with the verb have, which will also, the same thing we are going to do for this word will also cater for has, had as well. It's, all of them are just different tenses of the same thing. So have, has, had is what we're going to be talking about here. So, so have, we will use that as the pilot as what we'll be talking about. So have is represented by the word t, t, which goes with the sound re. T goes with the sound re. So not that t. So to illustrate this further, for us to get it clearer, let's go into some few examples. So if you want to say I have done it, I have done it, that is going to be mo ti she, mo ti she. If you recall from our previous lessons, you will know do it. We talked about something like that when we were talking about the object forms of the third person pronoun. So do it is she, done it is also she, but um, because of the have done is catered for by the t that comes in there. So if it's I do it, it would have been Moshe, or I did it. Let me put it that way. I did it, Moshe. But I have done it will now be Motishe. So it's that T that stands for the have in this case. So if you want to say he has done it as well, it's going to be O Tishe, O Tishe. So he has slept, O Tisun. Otisun, otisun. Sleep is sun. Sun, yeah, that is sleep in the verb form. So if you want to say I want to sleep, mo fẹ́ sùn, yeah. So sun is sleep. Let me digress a bit. If you want to talk about sleep in the noun form now, so for example, you want to say, oh, okay, let me use the expression sleep is coming. That one you won't use soon because it's like a verb now. It's not a it's like a noun now, not a verb. So in that case, it's going to be orun, orun with the sound re. So orun sleep is coming. Orun sleep is coming. But I want to sleep mo fẹ́ sùn because you are using the sleep in a verb form. That is why it is sùn and not orun. You see more of that when you look at the details of the nouns that we have, and nouns and verbs, and some popular phrases as well. You will see examples of further things like this there. So back to what we are talking about. So have is T. So another example, they had done it before we left. Can you take a try on that, or just try to say that to any extent that to which you can go? They had done it before we left. Don't forget that had and have, they are the same word, which is T, right? So let's take this. They had done it before we left. So they is one, right? So one ti she, they had done it. One ti she before we left. Now, before in this case will be before we left will be kí á tó kúrò. Leave is kúrò, so leave is kúrò. Sometimes they can say lọ, which is like go as well, but in this case let's use kúrò. So So we can say, so we'll say that wọ́n ti ṣe kí a tó lọ before we left. Kí a tó lọ. If it's before I left, kí n tó lọ. But let's not go there now. We will talk about that much later. So I'm just trying to expand my examples to include some other words along the line. So this is not actually a lesson to teach you new words, but we are trying to put everything together such that when you are learning what the subject of the topic is, then you can also be able to pick up some words along the line. So that is the example there. Now, we will also be talking about the negative form of these auxiliary verbs. So what I'm saying in essence is, if we talk about have, then we have to talk about have not. You understand? If we talk about has, we need to talk about has not. So that is also important because you need to know the form of that as well to be able to make good conversations. So the same examples, we are now going to use the negative part of them. So if you want to say I have not done it, I have not done it. So it's now going to be mi ò tíì ṣe, mi ò tíì ṣe. Recall that I have done it was mo ti ṣe, but I have not. So we are putting, instead of mo, we are replacing it with mu. That is like I haven't, no, like, mi ò tí. So that mu is replacing the mo to show, to give us I have not. So mi ò tí ṣe, right? Mi ò tí ṣe. If it is he has not slept, he has not slept, that will be kò tíì sùn. Or let's say he has not done it, kò tíì ṣe, kò tíì ṣe. Please note that when we said he has done it, it was ó ti ṣe, but he has not done it is kò tíì ṣe. Just always watch for that ko. Ko is most of the it's normally a sign of negation in Yoruba. So it comes in different forms. You will also hear it in other statements, in other sentences. And just note it when you hear ko, just start having in your mind that you are talking about something negative, like cannot, will not, something like that. But no worries, don't get yourself stressed up. We will go through things step by step, and with time, you're going to see more of this and be able to understand it better. Okay, so let's go forward now. So he has not done it, kò tíì ṣe, right? So, and that is, don't forget, he, she, it. If you remember, they are all the same word. So when you say he has not done it, it's the same thing as she has not done it. It's the same thing as it has not done it. Okay, so don't forget that. One more example for the negation. They had not done it before we left. So it will now be wọ́n ò, wọ́n ò. So that o is, it's just appearing when you're having the negative. Every time you're having the negatives appearing. So initially, when we said they had done it, was wọ́n ti ṣe, but they had not done it. Wọ́n ò tí ṣe, wọ́n ò rédò, wọ́n ò tí ṣe kí a tó kúrò. Wọ́n ò tí ṣe kí a tó kúrò. So please note how the sounds go, right? Another example, we have not done it. That will be a ò tí ṣe, right? A ò tí ṣe. If it's you have not done it, it will be o tí ṣe. Understand? O tí ṣe. So we are just putting an extension on the o, right, to get to where we are going. Don't forget, I have not done it is mi ò tí ṣe. So please note that, and you'll be easily be able to construct your sentences with have. Now please, a caution here. The have we are talking about here is strictly the one that comes in this form as a helping verb. When you say have in terms of instead of possessing something, like I have a car, it's something different entirely. I have food, I have a bottle of water. That kind of have is different. We are going to talk about that in some other lesson, but please don't mix it up. Don't mix it up. We are talking about have as a helping verb here. So I have done it, you have done it. That is what we are talking about here. I hope that is clear. All right. So we go to the next one. Now we're talking about the helping verb can. I can do it. I can go there. I can complete it. I can, I can. Yes, we can. All right. So talking about can is represented by le. The word le, which goes with the sound do. Le, do. So straightforward, we can go into some examples. I will change some examples a bit here to introduce some other words, but don't get yourself stressed about the words, about the new words you are picking up. Just try and know the structure of what we are talking about here, which is can. You understand? So, but just pick up the new words too along the line if you can. All right. Okay. So I can complete it. I can complete it. Do you want to give that a try? Complete is bari. Complete is bari, bari, re, mi, bari, not the sound. So do you want to give that a try? Yeah. So I can complete it will be mo lè parí ẹ̀. Mo lè parí ẹ̀. Mo lè parí ẹ̀. I can complete it. We can wait for you. Wait is dúró. Now, when you say in Yoruba, when you say wait for you, wait for me, or wait for is dúró dè, or dúró dè. You can say that dúró dè or dúró dè. So wait for, that is how it's said. Wait is dúró. The for in that case is dè, but it's always going like that. You always, when you wait for somebody, it's always dúró dè. So they will go with dúró. The for that is going for wait has to be they. That's what I'm trying to say. I hope that is clear. So we can wait for you will be a lè dúró dè yín. A lè dúró dè yín. So I guess you can put all of that together from previous lessons and this and know why we have all those things. So a lè dúró dè yín, we can wait for you. Another example, Ṣẹ́gun can jump well. Ṣẹ́gun can jump well. So that would be Ṣẹ́gun lè fò. Jump is fò. Fò, do. With the sound do. Fò. Ṣẹ́gun lè fò. Well will be dáadáa. Dáadáa. That is dáadáa. Double A after the D. So it's like mi, re. Yeah, da, because you have 4 vowels in total in that word. That's why you're having miri, you understand? 4 different sounds. So Ṣẹ́gun can jump well. Ṣẹ́gun lè fò da. Or if you want to say he can jump well, that would be ó lè fò da. Remember your ó, me. Ó lè fò da. Okay. If you want to say you can go, what would that be? Just you can go. Yeah, o lè lọ. O lè lọ. Or maybe you want to say o lè máa lọ, but let's just keep it as o lè lọ here, you can go to make it simple. O lè lọ, depending on the context actually. That is what will determine whether you are saying o lè lọ or o lè máa lọ. But let's not get drawn so much into that. Okay. Now, before we go here, we want to talk about the auxiliary verb may in this now. We want to talk about may. I want us to talk about it just after can, because there are some similarities between them and there are some differences. So I want us to talk about that now so that everything can be fresh in our memory. So for the verb may, like you may go, or something like that. May in this case is actually the same word with can. So if you want to say something like I may complete it, there is no distinct word for may in this case. So you just have to say mo lè parí ẹ̀. So now, how do you know whether this person is saying I can complete it or I may complete it? It's just going to be just going to depend on the context. Yes, and it can just mean the same thing. It will depend on the context. Actually, you will know when you get into the conversation what the person is trying to talk about. All these things don't come in isolation. So if you want to say we may wait for you, a lè dúró dè yín, it's the same thing. But the place where it changes now is when you're now talking about the negative, the negation. So we are now talking about may not. So may not is not the same thing. I mean, it's not said the same way as cannot. Please note that. May can be said the same way as can, but may not cannot be used the same way you use cannot. I mean, the same expression cannot be used for may not. So, how do we say may not? Um, let's see examples. I think we skip the negation for cannot first, but let's talk about that before we go to may not. So, for cannot, just try to push everything back. Let's talk about the negative for cannot. So, if you want to say I cannot complete it, it will now be mi ò lè parí ẹ̀, mi ò lè parí ẹ̀. You remember the same thing we had for the previous one we talked about, when we talk about not, I mean, the negation. So in this case, it's mi ò lè parí ẹ̀. I can complete it is mo lè parí ẹ̀, but I cannot complete it, mi ò lè parí ẹ̀. We cannot wait for you. A ò lè dúró dè yín. The you here, I'm using a plural you, or for somebody I respect. If it's for a singular one, or for someone that's my contemporary, I will say, a ò lè dúró dè ẹ́, dè ẹ́. You need to remember that. So you can say, a ò lè dúró dè yín. Some people can say, a lè dúró dè yín. A ò lè, a lè. It's the same thing. You are free to use anyone you want. You understand? So, a ò lè or a lè dúró dè yín. The a ò lè will be, I'll prefer that actually. I'll prefer that. Just a matter of preference. Now, Ṣẹ́gun cannot jump well. Or let me say, Ṣẹ́gun cannot jump well before now, which means like maybe Ṣẹ́gun used to, I mean, he wasn't able to jump well before, he used to, he wasn't able to jump before now. So now that before we are using here, it's going to be another form. So this will be Ṣẹ́gun ò lè, Ṣẹ́gun ò lè, because of the negation cannot. Ṣẹ́gun ò lè. So that O is coming in again to put the negation on the lè, which is the can. I think you understand that. So it will now be Ṣẹ́gun ò lè fò dáadáa. Tẹ́lẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀. Tẹ́lẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ means before now, like in the past. Yeah, that is what it means. So compared to where did we have before? We had an expression that we said before we left. That's a different context, right? So you wouldn't say tele tele for the before we left here, you understand? But when you say before, like, something has happened in the past, then you can use tele tele. So that is the expression you're going to use for that. So don't get yourself worked up. You will get examples of this. I mean, you will see more of this when you get into conversations, and you listen more to actual conversations. Just note that, okay? Let's use one more example here. You cannot go unless I come. You cannot go unless I come. So you cannot go will be o lè lọ. So o for you, o lè for they cannot. So o lè lọ. That is, you cannot go unless I come. That is àfi tí. Unless is the expression, two words, àfi tí, unless I come, or let's say unless I have come, something like that, that's what we mean here. So o lè lọ àfi tí mo bá dé, or àfi tí mo bá ti dé. Àfi tí mo bá ti dé. Don't get yourself so worked up on that. I'm just giving you examples to, broaden what you know, but just understand what the subject is, right? Okay. Now, let's go to may now and talk about the negative form of may, right? Let's go to negative form of may. So I told you before that the may and can, you can use the same expression, but for cannot and may not, you will not use the same kind of expression. So how do we talk about may not? I will use simple examples that are similar to what I've used before. So if it's now, I may not complete it. So I may not will now be mo le ma parí ẹ̀. Remember that complete is parí. So mo le ma parí ẹ̀, I may not complete it, or I may not be able to complete it. Something like that. Mo le ma parí ẹ̀. Okay, let's just say I may not complete it. We may not wait for you. A lè má dúró dè yín. A lè má dúró dè yín. We may not go. A lè má lọ. So that lè má is what is saying may not. You will see that it's common in everything. May not is lè má. So depending on the pronoun you have, I, we, they, if they may not go, for example, it will be wọ́n lè má lọ. So may not will be lè má. So please note that in difference to what we have for cannot, okay? In difference of what we have, we cannot. So please learn all of that, know how you can use all this, because you are going to have them coming up in a lot of conversations you listen to, or the kind of conversations you try to strike. And they are just some things that are very important. In the next lesson, we'll be taking a look at more of this helping verbs as well. Thank you.